The sky tore open like paper. A silver armada hung above the city, silent, massive, unyielding. Their ships shimmered with an unnatural light, each one radiating a threat humans had no way of measuring. People froze on the streets. Fear was immediate, tangible, almost electric. Commander Elias Core was 29, wiry, with eyes that had seen too many crises. He watched the alien shadows stretch across the buildings. His heart beat like a drum in a cave, each pulse echoing in the emptiness of stunned silence. "They're here," he muttered. Not a question, a statement. The aliens didn't just descend, they dominated. Their ships glided down, dissolving barriers, flattening military fortifications in seconds. No human weapon mattered. Lasers bent harmlessly off their hulls, missiles vaporized mid-air. Elias clenched his fists, tasting ash and sweat. And yet, there was something about human eyes in a crowd, something unquantifiable. Fear didn't erase curiosity, courage, or instinct. Lieutenant Marla Chen whispered beside him, We're just ants." Elias didn't answer. He wasn't thinking about survival. He was thinking about adaptability. Humans had endured famine, disease, and war, always bending when the storm was too strong to fight directly. Maybe, just maybe, that could become a weapon. The aliens began their occupation quietly. No sound, no communication, just cold, efficient movements. Entire city districts vanished beneath a shimmering field. Homes, schools, hospitals, reorganized into structures humans couldn't yet comprehend. In the chaos, children clung to parents, dogs whimpered in abandoned streets, and drones hovered, scanning for life. Humanity seemed like fragile glass against the alien tide. Yet Elias saw something the invaders might have missed: improvisation, instinct, the willingness to endure the impossible. On a rooftop, Elias gathered a small team: engineers, medics, former military. They weren't a battalion, they weren't even armed properly, but they were thinking, moving, reacting. "We don't have power like theirs," he said. "We don't have weapons that can punch through their shields, but we have something they can't calculate: adaptability." The team nodded, eyes wide but determined. They moved through alleys and collapsed subway tunnels, avoiding patrols, mapping every alien maneuver. Every step was a gamble, every corner a test. Humans weren't built for this fight, but humans were built for survival, for invention on the fly. Dr. Elias Rendell, the lead engineer, smiled grimly at a broken communications hub. "We can use what they leave behind," he said, fingers flying over wires. "They're organized, rigid. Once we disrupt their patterns, we might create openings." Night fell. The city's skyline shimmered with alien energy, casting eerie reflections on broken glass. Elias perched on the edge of a high-rise, scanning the horizon. His mind raced. Every human advantage was subtle, unseen, intangible, but powerful if applied with speed and precision. Across the city, small sparks of rebellion flickered. Civilians moved in secret, marking routes, signaling safe zones, sharing resources. It was disorganized, chaotic, but it was life. Humans were scattering, adapting, surviving. The first night attack was subtle. A single alien drone patrolled a district, unaware that a team of humans had rigged a decoy with salvaged electronics. It paused, blinked, then collapsed in a shower of sparks. The humans exhaled. They had won a small victory. It was almost laughable, almost insignificant, but it was proof. Elias turned to his team. "They think power equals control," he said softly, almost to himself. "But adaptability can outmaneuver any force. That's our weapon." If you're enjoying this story so far, please like the video and subscribe for more cosmic tales of human courage. The first sparks of rebellion ignited beneath the alien shadow. But as Elias scanned the horizon, he felt a deeper, more terrifying reality settle in. Something bigger was coming. Something that would test the limits of human endurance and ingenuity like never before. The night was not quiet. Something moved in the dark, something far larger than any drone, and Elias knew this was only the beginning. Dawn crept slowly, brushing the city in gray and muted gold. Smoke still curled from shattered streets, and distant hums vibrated through the ground. Elias Core and his team moved through the ruins, careful, alert, alive. Every shadow felt like it could conceal both hope and death. They reached a collapsed subway entrance, now serving as a hidden command post. Inside, engineers and medics worked side by side, turning debris into shelter, wires into communication grids. The humans had no choice but to improvise. Every moment counted. Data from the outer districts, Dr. Ilias Rendell whispered, eyes scanning screens built from scavenged alien tech. They're consolidating, but there's a weakness. Elias raised an eyebrow. A weakness? Rendell nodded. They rely on central coordination. They're fast, but rigid. Change a few nodes and their entire pattern destabilizes. They won't expect adaptation at our scale. A shiver ran down Elias's spine. That was it. Their invisible edge. Humans weren't invincible. They weren't faster or stronger. But humans could adapt, and adaptation was unpredictable. Outside, the city stirred with small acts of defiance. Civilians moved like whispers, sharing tips, hiding supplies, misdirecting patrols. Children skittered through alleys, eyes wide, hearts pounding, but determined. Humanity refused to kneel. Elias addressed his team. We strike indirectly. We don't overpower them. We confuse, we adapt, we survive. Marla Chen, always steady, smirked. Sounds like chaos. Exactly, Elias said. Chaos is our ally. They began testing small-scale attacks. A drone disabled here, a patrol rerouted there. Each success was tiny but meaningful. Each mistake, though costly, taught them more. Humans had no backup plan. Adaptation was the plan. One evening, as shadows stretched across shattered skyscrapers, Elias spotted movement in the distance. Not alien, not human, something in between. A massive quadruped, covered in reflective armor, scanning the streets. Humans froze. Recon unit, Elias whispered. It learns fast. We have one chance to test it. The team set up a trap using abandoned vehicles and a makeshift EMP. The quadruped approached, calculating, precise. Lights flickered, a pulse surged, and the machine faltered. Sparks flew. It stumbled, unprepared for unpredictability. Cheers erupted, small, quiet, but thunderous in the underground tunnels. Humanity had struck back, not with brute force, but with ingenuity. The victory emboldened more civilians. Safe zones expanded. Communications improved. The city's pulse quickened with human determination. Every alley, every hidden corner became a node of resistance. But the aliens were aware. Their patrols grew larger, more methodical. Machines adapted to humans. Their shadow loomed heavier. Yet, every time humans adjusted, they found another small victory. Marla tapped Elias's shoulder. They're learning faster than we imagined. Elias exhaled. So are we. That's the point. They have power. We have adaptability. It's never a fair fight, but it's always a fight we can win in ways they can't predict. Night fell and the city's ruins glimmered with human ingenuity. Makeshift lights illuminated maps drawn on walls, escape routes chalked on concrete, traps set for patrols. Life pushed through destruction. Humanity, fragile but relentless, refused to surrender. Yet, as the team prepared to rest, a distant hum began, low and deep. It vibrated in bones and walls alike. Something was coming, something bigger than anything they had faced. Elias clenched his fists. His team froze, eyes wide. The hum grew louder, rising into a mechanical roar. From the horizon, shadows moved, far larger than the previous patrols, coordinated, unstoppable in appearance. "Get ready," Elias said, voice low but fierce. "The real test begins now." The ground trembled before the silhouettes appeared on the horizon. Towering alien walkers, each bristling with weapons and sensors, advanced in perfect formation. Dust swirled in their wake, making the city streets feel even smaller, more fragile. Elias Core crouched behind a crumbled wall, binoculars in hand. His team spread out, nerves taut but determined. "This is it," he said, voice barely a whisper. "They want to crush us. But we don't just survive, we adapt." Marla Chin checked her makeshift weapon, a combination of scavenged tech and human ingenuity. "They've got every angle covered," she muttered. "And that's why we'll change the angles they can't anticipate," Elias replied. "Humans didn't match alien firepower, but humans could move, think, and respond in ways the invaders couldn't calculate." The first walkers reached the outer ruins. A team of civilians triggered diversionary traps, smoke, mirrors, noise. The aliens hesitated, recalculating patterns. That split-second pause was enough. Elias's engineers launched EMP pulses from concealed positions. Sparks erupted along the walkers' legs. Some stumbled. Systems reset. Humans cheered quietly, but there was no time to celebrate. Every victory was temporary. They fought a war of shadows and improvisation. Humans moved like ghosts through the streets, striking, then disappearing, disrupting patrols, sowing confusion. Each small act magnified as the alien command system struggled to adapt. From a rooftop, Elias surveyed the chaos. "They have power," he said to himself, "but adaptability is survival with teeth." An alien drone swooped down, scanning for life. Marla flicked a switch. A decoy exploded in a burst of light. The drone spiraled, misreading signals, then retreated. Another tiny victory, invisible to the untrained eye. Dr. Ilyas Rendell had rigged a network of hijacked sensors and hacked alien tech. "We can predict their recalculation," he explained. "Not perfectly, but enough to stay one step ahead." The city became a labyrinth of traps, signals, and countersignals. Human ingenuity transformed destruction into opportunity. Alleyways became corridors of ambush. Collapsed buildings were cover and command posts. The ruined city itself became a weapon. Even the children and the elderly contributed. Signals, distractions, observation. Every human instinct mattered. Every adaptation counted. The aliens' overwhelming power began to feel brittle, like ice under pressure. But the larger walkers were relentless. One stomped through a barricade, sending rubble and dust into the air. Elias watched, heart pounding. "Keep moving. Keep adapting. They can't calculate everything." Marla ducked behind a twisted lamppost. "It's like they're learning too fast. Are we really keeping up?" Elias looked at the horizon, watching another walker falter in the trap's maze. Adaptability isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. We don't win by being faster, stronger, or bigger. We win by bending when they expect rigidity. Hours stretched into a day of exhaustion and improvisation. Humans exploited every moment, every opening. Every misstep of the aliens was studied, replicated, and turned into a new strategy. As night fell, the horizon glimmered with alien light, more walkers appearing from the distance. Elias's team regrouped in the shadow of a crumbled cathedral. He turned to them, face lined with dirt and determination. "They think power equals control. But chaos, adaptability, unpredictability, that's ours. That's how we survive. That's how we fight back. The ground shook again. Something larger than the walkers emerged. Shadows darker, heavier, stretching above the skyline. A presence that no human had seen before. Elias' eyes narrowed. This is what we've been preparing for, and we have no choice but to face it. The city trembled under an approaching force. Every human heart pounded with fear and courage, ready to bend, adapt, and rise. The ground quaked beneath the approaching force. Massive, alien constructs towered over the ruined city, their metallic limbs glinting under the moonlight. The sound of their movement was like thunder rolling across the streets, shaking dust from every building. Elias' core peered through shattered glass, heart steady despite the fear coiling in his chest. "Everyone ready?" His voice carried more steel than certainty. The team nodded, clutching improvised weapons, gadgets, anything that could disrupt, delay, or confuse. Marla Chen checked the traps one last time. "This is insane," she whispered, half in awe, half in disbelief. Elias smiled grimly. Adaptation isn't insane. It's survival. The first behemoth strode into the outer ruins. Its steps flattened vehicles and tore walls apart. Human soldiers and civilians scattered, ducking behind debris, hearts hammering in rhythm with the machine. But Elias's plan was not to fight head-on. It was to force the alien power to contend with unpredictability. Rindle's team triggered a network of EMPs, sound emitters, and electromagnetic scramblers. Sparks erupted along the behemoth's legs. Sensors flickered. It staggered, confused by the strange signals and shifting lights. Humans darted in and out of alleys, setting ambushes and redirecting patrols. Their movements were fluid, improvisational, impossible for the aliens to fully anticipate. Every step exploited rigidity, every action created openings. One massive walker adjusted, firing a pulse that flattened half a city block. But Elias had already calculated an alternate path, a route no alien could predict. Humans flowed through the streets like water, slipping into cracks, looping around debris, always just out of reach. Children sent coded signals from rooftops. Engineers jammed communications. Medics moved quickly, patching wounds in hidden corners. Every human, no matter their age or role, contributed to a shifting battlefield that no machine could dominate completely. Marla ducked behind a collapsed archway, peering at a walker that had stopped to analyze a fallen EMP device. "It's learning," she said, breathless. Elias nodded. "Then we teach it lessons it can't handle. Adaptability isn't just reaction, it's anticipation, it's improvisation on a scale they can't calculate." Hours bled into one another. The city's landscape became a living weapon, built from rubble, signals, and human creativity. Each trap, each improvised diversion pushed the aliens further into miscalculation. But the real test emerged when the largest of the behemoths, the Commander class, entered the heart of the city. Its presence radiated power and precision. Buildings trembled, bridges buckled. It was nearly unstoppable. Elias studied it, calculating angles, patterns, weaknesses invisible to the naked eye. "This is it," he muttered, "our ultimate challenge. And we don't have to overpower it, we have to outthink it." The team moved in concert, distractions and EMP bursts cascading in unpredictable sequences. They used light, sound, debris, and timing to fracture the aliens' calculations. The Commander class faltered, staggered, then twisted, unsure of which attack to counter. Marla laughed breathlessly. It's actually faltering." Elias' eyes shone. "It's never the raw power that wins wars, it's the human mind, and ours bends when theirs cannot." Civilians joined in, their courage amplifying the effect. Signals, decoys, and traps combined into a symphony of human ingenuity. Even in the face of impossible odds, humans moved, adapted, and endured. The commander class reeled, then fell into a trap rigged with improvised explosives and EMP charges. Sparks flew, limbs twisted, and the alien collapsed with a metallic groan. Humans erupted in quiet triumph, each victory a testament to improvisation over power. Elias exhaled, surveying the battlefield. The city was scarred, but alive. Every human heart beat with the knowledge that adaptability had carried them this far. And yet, from the shadows beyond the horizon, new movements began. The aliens were regrouping. They had lost a commander class, but the invasion was far from over. Elias' jaw tightened. Humanity had survived the worst of this wave, but the true test still waited, bigger, darker, and more relentless than anything before. The horizon glimmered with more ships than anyone had counted. Their shapes were unfamiliar, massive, pulsating with energy that distorted the night sky. Elias' core stood on the edge of a ruined overpass, chest tight, mind sharp. This was no longer just survival, it was a reckoning. Marla Chen beside him whispered, "They've brought everything." "Then we bring everything humans have," Elias replied. "Adaptability, ingenuity, courage, that's enough." The team spread through the city, every movement coordinated yet fluid, each person improvising as the aliens advanced. Civilians evacuated strategically, set traps, and relayed intelligence in real time. The city itself had become a living weapon, forged from desperation and brilliance. The first wave hit with brutal precision. Alien machines crashed through blocks, flattening streets. But human teams anticipated, adapted, redirected, and disrupted. Barricades shifted, decoys misled, signals scrambled sensors. Each tiny success rippled into the next. Rendell's engineering crews had built a network of improvised EMP emitters, timed pulses and cascades that threw the aliens into confusion. Even the largest ships struggled to adapt to human unpredictability. Each miscalculation grew, and the humans exploited it with terrifying effectiveness. From the rooftops, Elias and Marla directed the counter-assault. Their voices carried across hidden comms, guiding teams like a conductor leading a symphony. Humans flowed through the city with precision born from chaos. The aliens had power, but humans had adaptability. And adaptability was unpredictable, relentless, and unstoppable when united. One of the largest ships descended into the city center. Its energy field flickered against EMP pulses, debris, and improvised countermeasures. Humans surged, drawing it into traps crafted from collapsed buildings, salvaged tech, and ingenuity. The alien craft struggled to anticipate each adjustment. "Keep moving," Elias shouted. "Every move counts. Every reaction is a weapon." Civilians participated in ways the aliens could not foresee. Signals, diversions, and improvised weapons flowed together into a choreography of survival. Each small act amplified the others, creating a storm of unpredictability that the alien intelligence could not calculate. Finally, the largest ship faltered, caught in a maze of collapsing streets and EMP grids. Sparks rained from its hull. Energy arcs danced across its surface. It crashed, massive but not invincible, and the city erupted in quiet, exhausted triumph. Elias looked around at the team, engineers, medics, civilians, soldiers, all of them battered, bruised, hearts pounding, but alive. Every person a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Marla exhaled, voice trembling. We actually did it." Elias shook his head, staring at the horizon where the remaining alien forces hovered. "We survived. Not because we matched them in power, not because we were stronger, but because we adapted. That's the truth of human strength." Civilians cheered from hidden corners, from rooftops, from rubble-strewn streets. Hope flowed through the city, fragile but undeniable. Humans had faced annihilation and had risen, not with the strength of arms, but with the strength of the mind, the spirit, and unyielding ingenuity. In the distance, the alien ships began retreating, unable to dominate the chaotic, adaptable human response. They had underestimated Earthborn resilience. They had overlooked the one factor no weapon could account for: human unpredictability. Elias stood in the ruins, gaze lifted to the stars. He knew this war was far from over, but he also knew that as long as humans could adapt, survive, and innovate, they would never be conquered. The city, scarred and battered, hummed with life. Fires burned, but they illuminated hope, not despair. Humanity had faced overwhelming power, and human adaptability had proven more than enough. And in that moment, Elias Core felt a quiet pride, a deep understanding of what made humans formidable. Not strength, not weapons, not numbers. Adaptability. The relentless refusal to bend in a single predictable way. That was the weapon the universe had never anticipated. The stars above shimmered with alien ships retreating, and below, humans stood tall, survivors of an impossible storm, ready to rebuild, ready to rise, ready to fight again. Humanity had endured. Humanity had prevailed. The world had changed, but one truth remained eternal. Humans adapted, and that was enough. The night was quiet now, but the echoes of human ingenuity lingered, a promise that no force, no matter how powerful, would ever break the spirit of the Earthborn.